The devotional reading for today, January 7th, is Don't Forget What God Has Done. And the scripture reading is Numbers 14, 1-12. Israel, through their unbelief, disobeyed and failed to enter the rest that God had planned for them. Paul warned the believers, "Let us therefore make every effort to enter that rest, so that no one will fall by following their example of disobedience." The only way to enter the powerful spiritual dimension God has planned for you is through faith and obedience. You must shut out every voice of unbelief that would tempt or deceive you into disobeying God. You must set your heart and mind to obey God regardless of the cost. The Israelites refused to listen to the voice of God, but chose instead to listen to negative reports. Their hearts were so filled with unbelief, they began to grumble and murmur against Moses and Aaron. "If only we had died in Egypt or in this desert. Why is the Lord bringing us to this land only to let us fall by the sword? Our wives and children will be taken as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt?" Their grumbling and murmuring was directed at Moses and Aaron, but their murmuring was actually against God. It was an outward manifestation of the unbelief that was in their hearts. They had murmured and complained about a lack of food. "Would to God that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we ate bread to the full." They had murmured and complained that there was no water. "Wherefore is this that you have brought us out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst?" They were not satisfied with the manna God gave them, and had murmured and complained that there was no flesh. "Who will give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt." Then as they came to Kadesh Barnea and listened to the negative report concerning the giants in the land, they murmured and complained that they were going to die by the sword, and their wives and children would be taken as plunder. God heard their murmuring and was filled with wrath against them. Their constant murmuring was a means of accusing him of not fulfilling his promises to them. They were turning their backs on him, and they were forgetting what he had already done for them. How about you? Are you murmuring and complaining because of your circumstances today? Are you turning your back on God and forgetting what he has done for you in the past? If so, say this: "I will not murmur and complain. I will not forget what God has done for me in the past." And the scripture reading is Numbers 14, 1-12. "And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said to them, 'Would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore has the Lord brought us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be prey? Were it not better for us to return to Egypt?' And they said one to another, 'Let us make a captain, and let us return to Egypt.' Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes. And they spoke unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, 'The land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only rebel not against the Lord, Neither fear the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear them. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones. And the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. And the Lord said to Moses, How long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me for all the signs which I have shown them? I will smite them with the pestilence, and disinherit them, and will make of you a greater nation and mightier than they.